Hello, this is Alan Wheeler on my channel where I usually talk about tarot and spirituality. And I haven't been posting much for a while, but this is an important topic. I'd like to share um, my plans for doing a grand initiation starting this week. This is an initiation to the left hand path and emptiness. I'll try to paste the full formal 9-week structure into the description if I can for those interested. But here I just plan to give a introduction, the background, a little explanation and summary of the grand initiation. My intention is to build an altar of remembrance here at the ending of my second Saturn return as I turn 60 years old. The background is after my first Saturn return 30 years ago. I came out of kind of the pits of despair, atheism, alcoholism, and became a Christian, baptized for the first time at age 30. And I went through a lot of emotional healing. I wept for 2 years during church services. And my new identity, I really got into mystical prayer and almost magical practice and spiritual gifts, and quite a vibrant experience. And my new identity led me to finish a degree, find work, start a family, propelled me to become an English teacher in China for over 10 years, and brought about a lot of fruit in my life, actually. In 2016, I began studying tarot cards, trying meditation, expanding into goddess worship and paganism, altar work, finally ritual and magic, just expanding and investigating alternative spirituality. I studied tarot with Priestess racing artists, and I joined a coven, and I hope to share this structure with the coven of Jesse Huntenberg, if at all possible. In April, as part of this initiation, I participated in a goddess workshop, kind of to renew my workings with the divine feminine and solidify those. I worked with Santa Muerta and used the Fallen Angel Oracle to work with Kali, and the Isis Oracle, of course, to work with Isis, and went through that workshop with a group online. Now, also, considering this part of my initiation as well, I'm joining Rose Crowley's Patreon group to be included in a monthly dark ritual and to learn more about the left-hand path. So the intent of this initiation in part comes from Rose Crowley, as does the three-part structure that I'm using, which is her process going from apostasy to transmutation to apotheosis, described in some of her videos. The 9-phase grand initiation also comes from Don Webb's book, Uncle Setnack's Essential Guide to the Left-Hand Path, although his design of a nine-day structure is much more detailed and complex, and mine's a little more free. I think just as challenging. It's going to depend on what one puts into it. Um, but this one just felt too unwieldy and didn't resonate in all places. But the general intent is very similar. I'm also replacing some of Webb's content with various cards for each week from the Thoth Tarot and readings of the various cards descriptions from his Atu in the Book of Thoth. So let me go ahead and read the overall intentions and sample some of the rituals and sigil suggestions from the various weeks from the structure that I'll try to paste in the description. So I identified the left-hand path in emptiness and the shift as transgressive, dark, individual, and progressive. So this is in contrast to more mainstream, light, group-oriented, and conservative spirituality. So, number one, the impulse to form a foundation, have an anchor of identity, is shifting toward emptiness, or that flow of the river of Heraclitus. The impulse to have a strong, defined purpose is moving toward the never-ending ascent of evolution. And the impulse to love, faith, hope, or bonds with others is balanced with the focus on self and personal sovereignty and responsibility. So the first grouping or set of 3 weeks is apostasy, the theme of apostasy. And I'll give the example from week 1. The Thoth Juggler, which is the magician, and Priestess are used, and Webb's words on chaos from his first set of 9 days. The sigil suggestions for my week 1 are the ouroboros and the reversed pentagram. The ritual is adapted from Webb, which is to put on a favorite outfit of identity that identifies me, remove it, wash it, and store it for 9 weeks. And the card reading for week 1 is to do an intuitive 3-card spread on current identity, its release, and any other wisdom. So let me move on to a sample from the second group or set of 3 weeks, which is under the theme transmutation. I'll read week 4, the Thoth, Wheel, Hanged Man, and Death, readings from the Book of Thoth on those cards, the Wheel, Hanged Man, and Death, and Webb's corresponding essay on life for that week. The ritual is to cut apple slices away from a core, eat the slices, to save 7 seeds to be used in the next set, the next theme, and to hide the core in nature to decompose. The sigil suggestions are the Star of Babylon, the Wheel of the Year, or the Wheel of Buddhism. And the card reading for this week is to actually do daily draws and reflections on life changes with a focus on how am I becoming or what am I becoming. In set 3, the theme is apotheosis. And the ritual for week 7 is to cast the apple seeds that were saved into nature and to release the sigil that was previously designed from weeks 4 and 5. In the final week of this set and the final week of the initiation, the Thoth tarot cards are the World and the Fool, bringing everything full circle. Webb's essay that completes his grand initiation on victory, and to review the journal that's been kept throughout this 9-week structure. The ritual is to do a black mass designed by the self, perhaps using black candles, music, invocation, and communion with the self. The sigil suggestion is a combination of runes, Gabo and Dagaz, plus a triangle-shaped mountain in a circle. So sharing this publicly, basically, or just opening it up to those who chance upon it, or where I'm able to share it, is actually part of my grand initiation. So I thank you so much for watching and helping me with this, sharing in this with me. Take care.